morning and welcome. I can't do it as good. Do it for me. Come on, Susan.
I can't do it.
Say it. Good morning. See, I can't get up there.
I can't make my lips go that direction like you just do.
I never noticed. Well, folks, welcome back to WKNI.
Might as well laugh about it.
You're saying I look funny.
You said that.
Oh, now I'll think about that every time I do it.
Oh, there you go.
When I'm on WTVY, that's where that started. On Wednesday mornings, I do WTVY, Talk of the Town. And I don't know, something got in me one day, and I just started doing that. And that's how they introduced me now. Good morning, Eddie Lewis from Andalusia. So now I have to do it, and I've been doing it here. And so nobody's ever told me they could never curl their lips over like I do.
There you go.
Susan Carpenter, our Director of EMA of Covington County, welcome to WKNI.
Thank you.
God bless you. She has to put up with me on occasion, so there you go, folks. But lots of things. You know, let's just do a history real quick on EMA in Covington County, because a lot of folks, you're the unsung hero or person in the background until something happens. And then, who's this Susan Harris? You know, who's EMA? What do you mean EMA? That's FEMA, you know. And yes and no, but we have our own local EMA, and that's what you are.
Right.
And give us a little bit about your responsibilities and what you have to do here.
Well, a lot of people think that we don't work unless there's tornadoes or bad weather, but there's a lot to do with EMA, and a lot of ours is paperwork and planning, and the federal government has really put a lot on us lately. Why, I have my suspicions, but and it's mainly they're trying to get us to do these things or not do them so they don't have to give us our federal funds. So
I thought you were going to the conspiracy theory.
Well, no. I just think it's a lot of work that's not needed, but we have to do it if we want that federal money. And when I'm talking about federal money, I'm talking about anybody in this county, any fire department, police department, individual, when we have disasters and the individual homeowner wants to file for FEMA money. If I don't have the plans and the documentation and all the reports and everything they asked for done, they cannot get their money.
That's important.
So it's very important for the entire county. The road situation that we always talk about here in the FEMA money, that's
recent too.
Yeah.
That's like a couple of, past month and a half that's been going on.
Yeah, and we're in the process now of trying to get federal funds for this last event, February event.
And you call them events, I call them rainstorms, but you know, it's like right out here when you drove up, you see that mess out there, and that's where you come in at. That's where people will sit there and say, hey, our dirt roads, notoriously washed out, gone, literally bridges gone. So that's what your job is, but also it's to help educate the community.
Right, and I have tried in many ways, such as this, getting on the air and talking with people, news articles, and I go to the fairs and schools and different events, church groups. I'll speak to anybody about my program, but you still have a lot of people, when the sirens go off, they'll call, what's going on? Why? You know, they still are not getting the education that I feel like they need throughout the whole county. And unless I go door to door, I don't know how to do that other than this event that we're planning for this Saturday.
Well, you're going door to door now, kind of being on TV.
Yeah.
When you do the media outlets, that's what you're trying to do. Let's talk about some of these events that happen. The horns go off. All right, people sit there. Oh, they go off all the time. You know, I'm not going to do anything. They got their weather radio sitting over there, and it's making all the racket. And the guy comes on there and says there's a tornado warning for Covington County. Okay, a tornado warning, not a tornado watch. And that usually means there's something bad coming our way.
Right.
Should you be listening to your weather radio and standing outside watching to see what's coming?
Well, I do promote the NOAA weather radios, and they're very important to have in your homes to wake you up in the middle of the night. But with the sirens, we only set them off on tornado warnings only. And like you said, with the warning, that's something you're supposed to be taking action for. Either it's been spotted by somebody's eyes or by radar. So it's a time to go to your safe place and take action. Now, I spoke with a club Friday, and we talked about the sirens for a very long time. And I know people get aggravated. We have 21 sirens throughout the whole county.
Wow.
And if there is a tornado warning for Covington County, I set off all 21 sirens. So therefore, if you're at the north part of the county, and it's not even raining, and down in Florella, that's where the possible tornadoes coming through, it may get a little aggravating, especially like at 2 o'clock in the morning,
Right.
and you hear the sirens. But as being an EMA as long as I have, I can tell that the word gets out quicker if I set all the sirens off. Mama in north of the county calls down in the south of the county, okay, I heard the sirens, take care of my grandchildren, my children, the word just spreads. But and I've seen times at 2 o'clock in the morning that it would be at the north part of the county, and I don't have a siren up there. So if a tornado's coming through at the north part of the county, do I not set off the sirens? So it's a big question. I think it needs to be done, and that's how we're doing it right now until I'm convinced otherwise that it's a big problem.
Well, you're looking out for the safety of everybody, and I'd rather have it go off and not have a tornado than not have it go off and have a tornado come through, because
Exactly.
it's disastrous. Lots of people got killed, many that just this past year or two in the United States, and some had sirens, some didn't. There was an entire city that was leveled that didn't have the first siren.
Right.
And that tornado came through and wiped out the whole community.
Well, that siren's not going to stop that tornado from coming, and it's not going to stop the damage that it does, but it will give you a few minutes to get in your safe place and try to protect yourself and your family.
How do you educate people? I mean, other than telling them, don't stand. You're seeing a lot of, I don't have my phone with me, but everybody's got a video camera now. Everybody's got a snap camera now on their phone or whatever. And they're going to get out there and they hear that horn. That's their alert to be the first one to post it and paste it up on the social page, what we call Facebook. What do you have to say to those?
Well, you're going to have them. It doesn't matter how much you preach to them. They're going to do it. And
I got to admit, that's part of my job. But, I'm telling you, if I know it's right here, I'm not going to be right here.
Well, I can't remember which tornado it was that come through. Now that I have an assistant, we kind of spread out things, and we kind of can go look and assess damage quicker and report that to the mobile weather and stuff. But we were under a tornado warning. The sirens were going out. I was going to look at a site real quick, and I go through right by McDonald's, and there's a drive-through. There's a line at the drive-through with people going through McDonald's. I'm thinking, I wouldn't be out here if it wasn't when I was, having to go look at some damage real quick. What are y'all doing? Please get in your house. But it's just, their choice.
Well, just like we were at church one night this past couple of weeks, and the siren went off. And, my immediate thing is get up, go out to my car, listen to the radio, find out what's going on. Usually they'll say north or south or central Alabama. In this case, I believe it was north central Alabama. Rotation was spotted over, I guess it was burnt, what do they call that, burnout? And red level area or something like that, that rotation was spotted. And, after church, I sat down with the preacher and I said, you heard the sirens. And you're right. He said, I saw you get up. I go, yeah, I went out and listened to my radio. I said, we have to have something in plans for that. Because, God loves us, but, he'll take the whole congregation if he, wants to with a tornado. So, we set up a, where I have the weather radio. When there's bad weather, I'll have the radio and I'll have it plugged in my ear. And if it's coming, we, take appropriate action. Now, I strongly suggest that to all the churches out there. That they have. I know it's cumbersome to have somebody get up, or be listening to something other than the preacher, but somebody has to be listening for that weather. If you're in a big church, lots of people, that's a big responsibility.
I've talked to a couple of churches and went and looked at their facilities and gave them some instructions on what they need to do in the last couple of months. And the biggest thing on that is, again, to have some way of getting your weather information, and the NOAA weather radio in the nursery. Usually you have a nursery and there's somebody in there all the time, and then start from there and work out your plans on how to do your evacuations of the church.
It'll kill you.
It will.
It will kill you quickly, and boy, I'll tell you, tornadoes scare me. I mean, my son videotaped that one that went across, oh heck, it was between here and Enterprise. It was on the ground. It was a big tornado. This is last year or 2 years ago. And he's sitting there driving with the kids coming here. And I'm on the phone calling. The horns are going off. Go back home. And he goes, wait, look. I see it. That's good. Get out of there, you know. But no, he videotaped it. I mean, it's okay to get a picture, but not waste or, take a chance on losing your life over it or someone else's.
Right.
So, but anyhow, we're going to take a quick break. We're going to talk about a couple more things that we can do to prevent a loss. And we got this big thing coming up, the Emergency Preparedness Expo, and we want to promote that for you as well and get the word out there. People are going to be from all over the place out there. We talked to ServPro here a couple of weeks ago. They were talking about that. People have, we had a fire here, not a natural disaster, but it was a house fire. Burned us out of the house. We just moved back in. And ServPro, that's how we met them, was out here doing the work. The insurance company hired them, and they came in. And we had the contractors in here for months building it and getting us back in. And you don't realize what it is until it's you. I was in the fire department for 21 years. I went to disasters. You get there, you take care of it, put the fire out, and leave. It's not your problem no more. Okay? I stood in the middle of my living room the day of the fire. I was like, what do you do? And my wife is over there sweeping the floor in the kitchen, and it's burned out. And you're sitting there going, wow. It's devastating. And these folks here are going to give us an opportunity that'll be at this Preparedness Expo to help us plan and get ahead and get ready. Shelters are going to be there. I'm seriously thinking about one of those. And, when you're underground, it's a little bit hard to get to you.
That's right.
And I'll talk about that to you when we get to that. But, folks, Susan Harris, our Director of EMA here for Covington County, she's got a huge responsibility on those little bitty shoulders, and she is an asset to this community. Very important that you know who she is, where she's at, and what she can do for you on an individual basis or a community basis, because there's a lot that can be done in an emergency.
Right.
So I kind of put you up there with the American Red Cross, and your office isn't that far from that.
Next
Oh,
door.
poor Don. I went over to visit him the other day. He's sitting up there with his feet up on. I'm just teasing.
Yeah, right.
But that man, he's pulling his hair out. Well, he ain't got none.
No,
So.
we don't. And that baby wife.
Oh boy, she's a sweetheart. Why does she put up with that?
I don't know.
Anyway, we'll be back with more right after these messages. Now, you've got a responsibility sitting over there if you want to do it. You heard Teresa say, keep it real.
Yeah. I forgot.
Keep it real, keep Jesus in it. We love y'all. We'll be right back with Susan Harris right after these messages.